Hello my friends, and welcome to another play day on my channel. I am working on a small keeper for ephemera. Things that I make, things that I cut out, things that I stamp and want to keep for future projects. So I am just struggling with this book, trying to get some cord through. So eventually I stop struggling and go get out my tub with my bookbinding supplies. I have lots of needles and a Japanese screw punch and an awl and all the things that I would need to do some binding type of work. There's some wax linen, and eventually that's what I'm going to do. Now you're going to see me make a big boo-boo because the first thing I do is sew this in backwards. So if you're going to make one of these types of things, be sure and you've got things oriented the way they're supposed to be when you sew them down. Now, I am no seamstress. I just play around. This is a piece of, what is it? It is some kind of tech. Oh, here it is. It is called Craft Tex. And I bought a big roll of this chocolate color just to give it a try a number of years ago. And I think I've made a couple of things out of it, but it's really paper, but it behaves kind of like leather or fabric. It's heavyweight, and it's kind of like I don't know, fabric text something. So I get my Japanese screw punch and punch a hole and get my needle threaded, and then I can put this on here. And of course I'm going to do it backwards, so then I will have to start over again. So you can see that the short end is on the opposite side of where I want it. So I'm taking my thread out and I'm going to flip it over and I'm going to sew it in the right spot. So get some more wax linen. Good thing I have big rolls of this stuff and my needle, and I'm just going to do a 2-hole stitch to bind that in, and I will do a square knot on the inside because the wax linen holds really well when you do a square knot. So I just wanted to stay in the book. It's nothing but these, what do they call these? These are paper snack sandwich bags, and they are, I got them off of Amazon. If you're interested, I think you can just go to my Amazon link under the video. There's all that information in the description box, and you can find that type of thing. But these are just plain old brown sandwich bags that come in a, let's see, this box came in a quantity of 48 bags. They're 7.5 by 6 3/8 by 2 1/4, it says. So yeah, if you don't use them for your paper crafts, you can always stick a sandwich in it. So I had put backer piece of paper in the sandwich bag and then put a label on it so I knew what was in each bag. So I've got an assortment of designs, my animals, my people, my butterflies, my circles, my geometric, all the different things that you can have in one of those bags. And so I'm cutting some Elizabeth Craft Design double stick tape because I'm going to stick the front of this Craft Tex onto the front of my stack of bags that I have put together with washi tape. This is Tim Holtz washi tape. It's a cloth tape, so it's pretty sturdy stuff. And I was looking for I've got fabric, I've got canvas that has adhesive back on it, but I couldn't locate it, so I decided I'd use this canvas that's on washi tape instead. So you do you use whatever you have. Now I'm going to stick the back down in the same fashion that I did on the front. Get it wrapped around the bottom. Try to line it up a little bit. You know, I didn't care. This is nothing fancy. It's just for me. And I was playing around, just using product that I have in the house that needs to be used up. So you can see now this comes open. It opens up with the first page, and I've got all the others in there with the tape. They're all sewn in. I've got, this is an embellishment that I sewed on the front. I was having difficulty with the sewing machine. I don't sew. I will tell you right off, I don't sew, but I just wanted to put something stitched on there, and I needed to stitch the canvas on the front or add an extra piece of the craft text because I didn't have a long enough piece. So I just had this piece of canvas laying around. I'd done some painted canvas the other day and wanted to, you know, cut a few pieces down to use, and so that's what I did. I used a piece of the canvas that was just laying around here in the studio, and now I'm going to grab some, this is just regular thread and a needle, and I want to put a button in the middle of that flower embellishment because I thought that would be kind of cute. I thought about doing a button closure, but I should have thought about that before I glued the front down. I should have sewed the button tie onto the front before I glued it down. So, oh well, I'll just use something else for my closure. You know, I could make some fancy wrap, which I might still do later, but I've got some of those rubber band type closures, and I think that's what I'm going to do, because eventually this is going to be stuck inside of another plastic zip pouch where I have other embellishments that are going to be used on my journal pages in the same way. This is just one way of corralling that stuff. So if you've got things that need to be put in order, this is something that you can do easily enough to create a little book to put those things in. So I've got my button on, and now I'm thinking about, you know, my closure. What am I going to use for my closure? So next I decided that I should write something on the front of this canvas so that it'll indicate to me what's inside, you know, because I'll come back to this 6 months later and say, what did I put in there? So that pen was skipping over the canvas, and I decided I would use some Posca paint pens because, yeah, Posca seems to write on just about everything. So I have a nice fat Posca, and I'm just going to write my words with the Posca. I'm going to use a couple of different colors. I got some Posca in a, what is it, glitter Posca that I don't pull out very often. I thought, well, let's bling it up a little bit too. So I'm saying creative, what did I say, creative, I can't even remember what I wrote on there. So, yeah, just using some Posca pens and writing on the front of the journal. Creative. Creative collage elements. Okay, that's what I did. All right. Okay, have you ever known me to work without stencils? On a rare occasion I do, but these are stencils from What If NC. My friend Carla produces these for her Etsy store, and so if you're looking at these and saying, oh, those are some pretty cool stencils, you might want to go over and check her out. I'm going to use a few of these on the front of my little binder. So if you're new to my channel, I sure hope you like this content and will consider subscribing. If you're one of my regulars, I want to thank you once again for hanging out and following along with what I do with my creative play, because you know that's what I am all about, is just playing and having a good time relaxing with my journal and my crafts. So these are going to get cleaned off as best I can. I'm not going to worry about them too much. Put them back into my binder, because I've got a little plastic binder. They're going to go in, and then they're going to go into another sleeve with all the rest of these elements. So here are my other pieces that I put through the Xyron machine, so they're made into stickers. These are both hand-drawn and stamped images. So remember, kindness is free. Sprinkle it wherever you go. TTFN.